I actually feel alright at the moment.
Right now.
Yeah, right
In
now.
like 10 minutes, you'll be sweating like a hog.
I like that it was completely quiet, and then all the
birds are getting
to-
so excited for the game that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Mario Wonder. Also, welcome back.
Welcome back. You could have just kept
A
going.
seamless intro.
Completely seamless.
Yeah, hey, thanks, man.
No
so this
worries.
is episode 30?
30.
Oh, God.
Mamma mia.
Pizzeria. Who would have thought? Is that the thumbnail?
I guess that's the thumbnail
Okay,
shot
how
now,
about,
though.
Episode 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking about Mario Wonder for the
Yes, sir.
Switch. Just before we start though, have you beat the whole game?
I am the level before you fight Bowser.
Oh, okay, you basically finished it.
I have 100%ed all 6 worlds.
Yeah,
I
same.
have done all but the final level of the special world, 100%.
Yeah, sick.
I have every standee.
Yeah.
And
Standy's nuts.
yeah, man. Oh, look, we had to get that one out of
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
And I'm the level before Bowser.
Yeah,
I just
sick.
didn't get a chance to fight him.
Okay.
But I've done everything else in the game except fight Bowser.
Okay. That's good, because this probably be a bit spoilery then.
Yeah,
I guess.
potential
Yeah.
spoilers for the game, obviously. It is
Yeah.
only like, by the time this comes out, it's like a month and a half, 2 months old.
Yeah, true.
So it's a bit of time, but also
Yeah.
spoilers just up
Spoiler
front for
warning.
Mario Wonder. I think that's
Yeah.
the quickest we've ever gotten on topic in a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
before.
Usually we fuck around for a bit of
Buddy,
goofs and gaps
I have
at the
5
start.
pages of notes for this.
I've got many A notes on here as well. So
I have 5 printed pages in front of me of notes. Like, I'm fucking ready.
podcast is just you reading your notes the entire time.
I mean, yeah, that is
Yeah.
what it's going to be.
Probably. All right, well, let's just dig into it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Now, we were messaging about a week ago, because you only started playing, like, at the time of recording this about a week ago.
Yeah,
maybe
it
2.
took me like 2 or 3 weeks to actually pick it up.
Yeah.
After I bought, like, since release date, after I bought it. Like,
Yeah.
it took me a minute to pick it up, but I wanted to dedicate time to it because I knew I had a feeling I would love it.
Yeah.
And want to keep playing it.
Yeah.
And I was correct.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I waited until I had a bit of time.
Yeah.
To be fair, I had bronchitis, so I couldn't go anywhere or do anything
Yeah.
really.
You could only play Mario Wonder.
Oh no.
Oh, damn it. Oh, no.
The doctor like forged the note for me to say I had bronchitis so I could stay home and play
Now your work
Mario.
finds out that you just took time off for Mario. Sorry, should I shut my mouth?
They're Mario wondering where the fuck I was.
Good one.
Thanks, man. It's not going to be the only time I make a joke like that
no,
on this episode.
we're gonna make a-
I promise.
No, I know. I know you too well. You're going to make a wonder pun.
Yeah.
A wonder pun?
A wonderful pun.
A wonderful pun.
Yeah.
A good one.
Punderful. Anyway.
All right, so that's the episode, guys. Hope
Thanks
you
so
enjoy.
much.
Always got to put in the fake out ending.
Always.
Yeah.
First impressions of this game, what do you think?
I love it.
Same.
This is my. That's it.
Great.
No, we were messaging each other and we're just like ranting about how much we love this game.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite 2D Mario game since Yoshi's Island. Now that's
Yeah.
a big claim, but if you think about all the 2D Marios that come out basically since then, not much tops this game. I
Yeah.
love it to death. I already beat it. I've already 100%ed everything. I had so much fun
Yeah, this is
So good.
also my favorite 2D Mario since World.
since 3D. Since the SNES
since,
world.
Yeah, since
Yeah.
SNES World.
Ooh,
Yeah.
even further back.
Yeah,
Nice.
that to me is the perfect Mario game.
Yeah.
I like the ones that come after. I love Yoshi. Like, I love
Yeah.
those games. But to me, World is the perfect 2D game.
Yeah.
Still is. This
Fun.
is like the 2023 version of that
Yeah.
to me.
This is the modern version
Yeah.
of World. I actually like this a lot more than World.
I agree, to be honest. Like, and maybe that's just because World feels a little outdated. It still feels
Yeah.
tight as hell, though.
Yeah, it's
like
still a
it's
very
still
tight game.
amazing to play. But this to me is like within one world or within like 2 levels even.
Yeah.
Within the piranha plants singing on the second level.
I was going to message you and be like, should we like rehearse and try and do a cover of it? But I was like, nah, man.
That moment when you get the Wonder Flower in the second level,
Oh, God.
Piranha Plants on Parade,
Yeah.
and they start singing and walking, I was like, I fucking love this
Yeah.
game. That for me was my Jump Up Superstar.
Yeah,
That
from Odyssey.
Jump
yeah.
Up Superstar, that sequence in Odyssey, the 2D platforming sequence in Odyssey, that was what made that game for me,
Yeah.
among a billion other things.
Yeah.
And the second level of this game, the Piranha Plants on Parade, that is what made this game for me.
I just didn't expect it at all. I
No.
knew this game was going to be weird. That's basically its premise. But I didn't expect the Piranha Plants to start jumping out of the pipes and all singing in a high-pitched
dude,
voice.
it
It sets the tone for the rest of the game,
Got me
and I
so
love
good.
it so much.
Yeah.
And then there's just like heaps of other singing moments in the game, and like
Yeah.
the use of music in this game is fantastic.
I wrote probably at least a whole page just about the music.
I've got a section on that as well, so
yeah.
we'll get to it in a sec. But
Yeah.
overall, this game is beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
It just looks so good as well.
No Mario game has ever had this much character and charm.
Yeah.
It is just the best experience to play. It is unreal.
It's like personality personified in this game.
Even
it's
just
so good.
Even just the simple touches like the running animation, or like
Yeah.
when you go into the pipe and he pulls his hat behind him like a Looney Tune, or like
Dude, you see my notes?
just just like those small touches. And obviously, you know, they're not small touches, they were big considerations.
Yeah.
Because Mario's never looked that good before. He's
Yeah.
never had those sorts of animations. Like
Yeah.
it just blew me away.
I think it's the fact that they've animated the models to be on an angle rather
Yeah.
than running purely horizontally.
I
And it's
really
for
like
every character. You just see so much more character and personality on their face and their entire body. So he makes like that determined look on his face when he's running.
Yes, yeah.
And like I played as Luigi for the entire game, and when he
I
leaves,
played as Mario for the entire game.
hey, nice,
Yeah.
dude. The Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So when Luigi comes out of the pipe, I don't know if Mario does the same thing, but he looks around his surroundings first and
think
then
so, yeah.
jumps out of the pipe. I'm like, that is such a nice touch.
Yeah.
Instead of just them like coming out of the pipe, not like just purely emotionless. They're just like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, it adds so much.
My big question for you,
Yeah.
and this is something I was grappling with, does this game make, maybe not every other, but does this game make other 2D Marios obsolete? Do you think that you will ever go back and play Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, etc.? Like,
Yeah. I think they're obsolete.
yeah, I
Those
mean,
games
yeah.
are just so, not that they're bad games, but they're formulaic.
Yeah,
I could maybe go back to the first one on purely like a nostalgic
yeah.
standpoint, but the rest is it's just the same. It's just cookie cutter.
The only
same
one I would go back
platformers.
to is World, to be honest.
Yeah, I could go back to 3D Land and 3D World.
Actually, no, yeah, 3D World for me is like 3D Land. I think is one of only a handful of Mario games I've ever 100%.
Yeah,
I
same.
traded in my copy on 3DS to get no. It was I think it was for like Sun and Moon or something, like because I had
Yeah, okay.
100%ed it. And I
Yeah,
was
so
like,
you're
I don't
done.
really need this anymore.
Yeah.
New Pokemon's coming out. I'll just trade it in to get the Pokemon game cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, this game made me want to 100% it. Whereas
Yeah.
like when I got U Deluxe on the Switch, for instance, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. I think I got 2 worlds in and went, okay,
like I'm done.
I've done this game before.
Yeah, it just does like one. It has so much more character. It looks more beautiful, but it does all the platforming so much better.
Oh, it's outstanding.
It's so much more clean, and every level in this game has so much personality and charm, and they feel unique, especially because of the Wonder Flower.
Well, fun fact about the Wonder Flower
okay.
that I discovered while I was doing some research into the development of the game.
Yeah.
It turns out that they started developing this game in 2019.
Oh,
and
okay.
They were given 0 deadlines.
Good.
They said,
Good.
make the game, try these mechanics, see what works.
Yeah.
0 deadlines.
Yeah.
And then they, the director of the game, whose name I didn't write down and I should have, called in anyone on the team who wanted to contribute to the Wonder Flower concept.
Yeah.
Sound designers, graphic designers, any single person on the team was able to come in and contribute ideas.
Yeah.
And allegedly they had more than 2,000 ideas for Wonder Flowers.
That's so
For
good.
sequences in the game.
Yeah.
And they obviously just handpicked the ones that they liked the most,
Yeah.
developed them, and then put them in the game. But again, like that alone, you
Yeah.
can see the passion. And that's why I think we got musical sequences like that and like a Night at King Boo's opera like later on in the
Yeah.
game, which I want
Yeah.
to talk about.
I want to as well,
Like
yeah.
musical sequences that
Yeah.
are like the Wonder Flowers aren't an inherently like challenging experience. Sometimes
No.
they are just to give you a sense of wonder.
It's just a fun time. It just feels like they went balls to the wall with how weird they can make this game.
Yes.
And it's weird, but in the best way possible. I love it so much. They've just like taken any kind of weird idea,
Yeah.
shoved it into this game, but obviously in a really well executed way, and it's so good.
Okay, so on the music, I think like sort of we
Yeah.
talked about the music level stuff. I wanna call out the composers real quick because
Yeah,
I
okay.
looked into them
There's like
and
three,
their previous
aren't
work.
there? Yeah.
3 composers and Koji Kondo. So
Oh, did he? I didn't see his name in the credits.
so Koji Kondo, I was reading an interview about the creation
Yeah.
of the game, and Koji Kondo he identified himself as the sound director, and he also said that he composed some of the music himself.
Right. Okay.
But the majority of the music was composed by 3 female composers.
Nice.
Whose names and credits are Shiho Fuji, who was credited as the lead musician on here.
Yeah.
Did a heap of music for Skyward Sword and Mario Kart 8.
Okay, good.
Probably all of it.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
And Odyssey,
Oh, that explains why it's so good.
my favorite 3D Mario game.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that Shiho Fuji is the reason both of these games are my favorite, but she heavily has contributed to both of them in ways that I adore.
Yeah, I mean, sound design can make or break a game, and
Yeah.
it just heavily contributes to why you'd like it.
The second composer on the list was
Yeah.
a woman named Sayako Doi, who is one of 2 credited composers for Metroid Dread.
Yeah, okay, that tracks.
Which I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, the
Yeah.
sound design in that game is just
insane.
unreal.
Yeah.
So, like, to see that, I'm like, no wonder I vibe with this so much.
Yeah.
Also has notably done a lot of work on Splatoon 3 alongside Shiho Fuji. So they've
Yeah.
worked together before.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And a bunch of other people on that game as well, and a bunch of other stuff. The final composer on the list was someone named Chisaki Shimazu, who the only credits I could find for her were Wonder.
Okay.
As in, I think she's a new hire.
Wow, okay.
Like, the only credits I could find online for Chisaki Shimazu were Wonder.
yeah. That's a brilliant first game to have on your resume. Holy
Right?
fuck.
Yeah, so those 3
Yeah.
composers, Shiho Fuji, Sayoko Doi, and Chisaki Shimazu,
Yeah.
like, fucking hats off, man. Like,
That explains so much.
having worked on Odyssey, having worked on Dread, and
Mario Kart and all
fuck,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Like, it explains so much about why this music feels so alive.
Yeah.
And
Especially during
Yeah.
the Wonder sections as well.
and I couldn't not look into these composers once
Yeah.
I had played the game, because I was like, this music is
It's so good.
I don't think I've ever vibed this hard with a Mario soundtrack
Yeah.
before, except maybe
Except
Odyssey,
Odyssey, yeah.
which was Shiho Fuji, who worked on this game as well.
Exactly.
So like,
exactly.
I just had to call them out.
Yeah.
Especially because I just watched a H Bomber Guy video about sound design and crediting people in the sound design
Yeah.
industry, and like I just
Underrated.
really had to call them
Underrated
out
as fuck.
because holy fuck, the music on this
Yeah.
game is just, and not even just the music, but the sound design in general,
Yeah.
is
Well,
unreal.
it's just the fact that it's so like it's incorporated so well into the gameplay. There's heaps of like sections that are rhythm based, I guess. Or
There's a
yeah,
whole
it's
badge that
Yeah.
you get, which is you get coins when you jump to the beat
Yeah.
of the music.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And there's like special levels. Like I think the first level in the special world is when you're doing that platforming section, but like the platforms are disappearing in time. with
That's
the
for the
music.
second world.
the
but
second-
yeah.
yeah. And just
but same
like
idea.
stuff like that. And it's like levels where like you're on like little platforms, and like if you bounce to the beat of the song, you get lifted up and stuff.
Yeah, like I wrote down that level specifically. It's just called jump.
Yeah.
That's the one in World 2 where you jumped to the disappearing platforms.
Yeah.
But then also in World 3 you've got that's not World 3. Sorry, it's in World 4. Ninja Jump Party.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Was the one
yeah.
episode where they're like jump. Like, I really love that.
There's like one part in that level, like if you do it multiple times, it opens up like secret areas of the game.
Yes.
It opens up the curtains, and like that's fantastic.
It's so
gameplay
clever.
and sound design.
Yeah.
That's the dream, baby.
It's
That's
so
the dream.
fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
I could do a whole podcast just about that.
Yeah.
Just about the sound.
All right. One day.
Let's do it. Yeah.
One day.
I want to talk about the 3 new power-ups
Yeah,
in
okay.
the game.
Yeah.
So the 3 new power-ups are the Bubble Mario, the Bubble Flower, the Drill Flower,
Yeah.
and the Elephant Flower.
Yeah. I think they're fantastic power-ups.
Yeah, big
I think
time.
they're so good. I think my only concern, I just wish there were more power-ups.
Yeah, like I was thinking that, but then I also thought back to Wii, where I'm like, well, the only one I ever used was the helicopter because there
Yeah.
were so many.
Yeah.
But like having these 3 and having them integrated in such a seamless and enjoyable way,
Yeah.
I think really made me. I never wanted more.
The thing is, all 3 of them have 3 clear, distinct purposes. Elephant
Yes.
Mario, you're just doing damage. You're just this big, bulky dude. You also have the water
Yeah.
ability, so you can
Yeah.
water flowers. And also when you finish a stage and you still have water in your trunk, you like
You flour the
you flour
poplin. Oh.
so good. Such great attention to detail. So yeah, there's that. There's the bubble Mario, which is really good offensively
Yes.
for attacking enemies. You can I didn't even realize till near the end you can bounce off the bubbles.
Yep, that's the only reason I was using
Yeah.
it. I didn't realize until near the end that you could put enemies in bubbles.
Really?
Yep. I was
Oh.
only using it to jump off them for
See,
platforming.
we had the opposite experiences.
But also, I wasn't using the bubble a hell of a lot.
No.
It was definitely the one I used the least.
It's definitely the weakest, but it's still good.
Oh, and like I wrote down on here that like I didn't find it super practical outside of moments when the game was like, hey, you should use a bubble. And I'm like, okay.
Thanks,
but
I guess.
I did start to, especially in World 6.
Yeah,
I used it a
yeah.
lot in World 6, actually.
Yeah.
That and the drill.
Yeah.
I didn't use the elephant in World 6 at all.
Yeah.
But then the drill is really interesting too, as like a sort of like avoidance
It's
strategy.
avoidance, but also secret finding and puzzles.
The amount of levels
solving
that
as
I
well.
would be doing where I'd be like, oh, I can see something up in
Yeah.
that cliff that's obviously for the drill.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really like that.
And then like the challenge is trying to figure out how to get to that ceiling with Drill Mario.
Yeah, because
whatever
you can't
character
go
you're using.
like
You can't go-
vertically, you can only go on the horizontal
Yeah,
surfaces.
yeah, exactly.
Which is great.
They're so good. And there's the Fire Mario. I mean, it's not new, but it's back.
Yeah, Fire Mario's
But
back.
it was pretty good.
Bring back Ice Mario.
Yeah.
Ice Flower was
Ice
top
Flower was
tier
so good. It was in the Mario movie, which
Ice
I just
Flower
watched
was
last
really
night. So
for the second time.
second time.
So we're clear. Yeah.
But yeah, I think all the power ups are great, and there's still all the transformations that you have with the Wonder Flower as well.
Yes.
So I guess that's sort of a replacement for power
billions
ups.
of different. Some of those transformations are only in one level, and a lot of other developers would have built a whole game around those mechanics. You know, like I wrote down some favorites of mine, but like the one that comes to mind right away, it's just being the fucking spiky rolly ball.
Yeah,
you know,
that was so good.
Just so good.
Yeah, it just felt so good. And you do those levels like late in the game. And usually it'd be like more tough, like platforming sections. But like, no, we'll give you this spike ball. Go have fun. You're like, okay.
Yeah. The Special World Spike Ball level was great.
It was so good.
I loved that. It was a very good challenge.
Yeah. What else? I like being the spike dude. And you like jump really high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That
I
was so
fucking
good.
loved the silhouette level where you're really tall and then you can crouch and it like makes you normal size again. Like
Those levels looked awesome.
I've got a lot to say about those.
It reminded me of Donkey Kong Country. 'Cause that had a similar art style where you were black and lots of the environment was black, but like the background was like a sunset background and
Yes.
stuff. I was like, yeah, that's neat.
It's a nice little reference.
Yeah. What other transformations are there? There's like the balloon one. You turn into a
Yeah.
Goomba.
The Goomba
I
one was
love
fun.
those.
I love that.
And like you can't jump very well, so you have to try and maneuver around the
platforming,
platforms
yeah.
without jumping.
That was
so
while
good.
you're being chased by those little the ones that open their mouth real tall.
Yeah.
To not get eaten and hiding behind
You
the
have to
trees.
hide behind the trees.
I loved
yeah.
that. Like a stealth Goomba mission.
Yeah.
That was great, man.
Yeah.
I think
so good.
on that, like in terms of the varying gameplay,
Yeah.
I fucking loved the Treasure Road style break times, badge challenges,
Yeah.
and search parties.
Yeah,
and
that was-
KO arenas, I guess.
The KO arenas are good because it's like not one power up was really better than the other, and it gave you a lot more.
It was always the elephant.
it's always the
was
elephant.
always
It's always the
best
elephant.
one.
Yeah, of course. But like you could use the bubble if you wanted to, and you'd probably do okay.
I never did.
Yeah, me neither.
If you want those 3 purple coins, elephant every time.
Yeah,
I think
true.
that was my one gripe with the KO arenas. Is like, and then also one criticism I have with the KO arenas just on their own is like the amount of times where I would just like fucking fumble the bag in an arena and go, oh fuck man, there's no way I'm getting all 3 purple coins and then get to the end and still have 20 seconds to spare before I missed out and get all 3 purple coins anyway. I'm like, oh, there was no pressure or challenge at all.
They're not difficult. Maybe like the last couple, you have to be a little quick.
The
but,
last one from World 6, that's the one I was just talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where I was like, man, it's going to be like fucking 60 seconds to get all 3 coins.
Yeah.
I'm at 80 seconds. I fucked it.
Yeah.
It turns out it was like
cleared a bit.
100 seconds that
Yeah.
you needed to do. And I was like, oh,
They're a bit lenient.
okay. They're very lenient.
Yeah.
Also, they were the only thing in this game that I kind of dreaded. You know, that I kind of was like, I don't want to do that.
I didn't love it. I wouldn't say I dreaded it, but I didn't love it.
I didn't dread them as much as I dreaded the search parties.
Yeah. I didn't love those.
The search parties were just walk around and jump until you find a hidden block and then do that again 5 times.
Yeah, well, it's just like those were designed to do with other people.
I don't have friends.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, we could have played together, but
Could have.
fuck that
But
shit.
no.
But yeah, it was definitely designed for lots of people who would obviously see all these hidden blocks. But if you're doing it by yourself, which we did, then it was a bit annoying to do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I definitely see that those were designed for multiple people, but also, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the rest
Yeah.
of the game wasn't designed that way.
Yeah.
Have you done any kind of online or multiplayer, local?
No, not really.
You know, I didn't know this until I was watching a review of the game yesterday, but you can't interact with the other players at all.
Oh, okay.
Can't pick them up, can't hit them, can't throw them,
Right.
can't damage them, nothing.
That's a bit of a downgrade from previous.
The only thing
Marios.
that, well, I know, I get it in the sense that, like, when I play with people, I'm a fucking asshole
Yeah.
who throws people into, I get it. I get it. But also,
chaos.
it's a bit weird. But you can still, like, pick up a Koopa shell and throw it at someone and it kills them.
Huh.
They can still be killed by environmental hazards that you impose on them.
That's a bit more sneaky, I think.
But, like, yeah, you can't interact with them at all. You just run over them like they're on a different layer.
Yeah, right.
It's really interesting.
That's weird that they would do that.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I don't really like playing 2D Mario with other people
Neither.
that much because I just find it to be more detrimental. to
3D
your
World
progress.
is the only Mario I've enjoyed playing with other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's pretty good.
Wii was fun, but it was always just chaos.
Yeah, it's just chaos and you don't end up making any kind of progress, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
But yeah.
But I don't know. I still appreciate having such a variety of different types of levels
time.
in a world. And one thing I really like about the levels in this game is they're not really that linear. With the exception
Yeah.
maybe the first or second world, but all the levels are kind of spread out. And you can do them basically in any order you want.
Yeah.
And the thing is with these games, they have there's difficulty modes, I guess, now for each level.
Yeah.
So you can be like, oh, I'm going to do the easy one first, and then I'll do the hard one later. It's really good for,
Yeah.
I don't know, you can just choose and do whatever you want. It's not.
And that's also, I think, why I appreciate, even though they were super simple and only generally one screen, the
Yeah.
break time levels.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, cool, just jump around and hit this thing and you get a Wonder Seed. And
Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
It's just a nice change of pace and
Yeah.
a breath of fresh air.
And same with the badge challenges as well.
Yeah.
Which I loved the badge system in this game. It reminded me a lot of Hollow Knight.
It kind of does, hey.
With the charms, yeah. But also, like, I don't know. Like, okay, I had a couple of badges that I frequented for the entire game.
Yeah.
The ones that I used pretty much the entire time, the floating high jump, I used very often, or the wall climb jump,
Yeah.
where you can
those are
do like the
pretty
jump
handy.
and then another jump.
Yeah.
Or if it was a water level, the dolphin kick, obviously.
Yeah. I only ever used the floating cap. I just found
really?
it. I just found it to be the easiest one. It just,
The one where you hover down.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just always find hovering around, down to places just makes platforming a lot easier.
Yeah.
And it saved me a lot if I was wall jumping to save
Yeah.
myself from falling to my death.
See, but that's why I had the wall jump one on.
Yeah,
for that
true.
reason, basically. Late game, I just found myself using the coin magnet one a lot, just to
Yeah.
get as many coins out of a level as possible
Yeah.
for lives and for purple coins.
Yeah.
Obviously,
And for those standees.
Standy's nuts, dude.
Dude, that was really funny. I already said it, but
I don't want to spend too long on standees, but they were fun.
I mean, if you're playing online with people, sure, but
Also, fucking weird though that there are 144 of them, and you get no say into which one you're putting down. Really
until
weird.
the special world. Oh,
No. As in, when you're playing the
Oh, when
game,
you put
you
it
don't get to
down.
pick which one you want to put down.
Oh,
Like a
it's just
sticker.
random.
You just put it down, and it gives you one of the random 144, or one of however many you have. So
Oh.
you can't pick one,
I don't love that.
as far as I know.
Or trying to pick from a menu of 144 standees
Every
would just be a
time, yeah.
nightmare.
Or make a little quick select menu, with 4 of them or something.
And
you know?
have a happy one, a sad one, an angry, and yeah.
It reminded me again of the gotcha capsules from Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Yeah.
But at least with the gotcha capsules, you do the machine, you get them, and then you can display them in your home.
Yeah.
And that's you can do something with them. Whereas the standees, I did it one time to be oh, that's fun. And then the outside of multiplayer, which is fine.
Yeah.
I didn't use them nor see a point, but I have all of them now.
Yeah,
And
same.
it was fun to collect them all and be okay, I only need 5 more. I only need 150 more coins to buy them from the Special
Yeah.
World Toad store.
I just had to mass collect coins at the end because I left it till last. and I just bought them all at once.
I just happened to get enough while I was playing through World 6 that like I was able to get them all before I headed into Bowser. So like, I mean,
I definitely should have bought them as I went. But...
Yeah. I definitely shouldn't have bought as many random ones in World 1 as I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, well.
I don't know, like the standees were fun. The badges were excellent.
I love the badges just in the sense like it really helps like individualize kind of your experience with each level. And not one badge will be that advantageous to completing a level. It's not like there's specific platforming sections where it's like, if you had this badge, you could do this. You have to wear this badge. The game recommends badges for you to wear.
Yeah.
But you can still succeed without them.
Yeah,
like I used the floating cap for the whole game and was able to 100% it.
Yeah, I used the floating high jump for most of the game and was able to 100%. Like,
exactly. But like if you wanted to use the high jump one or the wall
invisibility badge,
wait till you get to the final level. That's all I'm gonna say. I really want to talk about the final level, but I'm not going to because I want you just to experience it raw.
Is that second, well, the second and final invisibility expert badge challenge. That was fucking rough, dude. That was one of the most challenging levels in the game.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, you reckon?
I can't wait. Fuck.
The final level is brutal. That's all I'm gonna say. It's fucking brutal.
Excellent.
But it's good.
I'm glad because on the difficulty level rating, I like when I did the first couple of levels, I was like, my partner played the game before I did, just like the first couple levels, and she's like, man, it's really fucking easy. Yeah. And then I had a look on her screen and I was like, well, it's 1 star. And it's like, so it must be out of like 5 stars for each level. And I was like, that's cool. So she went and did a 2-star level and she's like, oh yeah, that was a bit better. Then did a 3-star and was like, okay.
I get it.
This is a bit better now.
Yeah.
But then like, for me, it capped out at 3. Like 4 and 5, I didn't find any more difficult than 3. Some 5-star levels in the special world, I found it easier than some like 2 or 3-star levels in like World 5.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote down. Like the difficulty rating's just a bit, maybe not a bit. It could be like very inconsistent. A lot of 4-star and 5-star levels aren't that hard.
No, and like I would go through, I would one run, all 3 coins, 1 to seed, top of the flagpole, 1 run, 4-star level.
Easy
and I'm like, okay. Whereas some like 2-star levels, I had to do like 3 times.
Yeah.
Because like there are some like precise jumps that you have to make to get the flagpole off the fucking seeds of the piranha plants, and like, I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Or there's like a purple coin somewhere that's just like kind of hard to get to.
But yeah, like the special world, the only level I really struggled with in the special world thus far was the first one where you're bouncing on the hippo. Just because I kept straying too far to one side and it kept bouncing the other way and fucking me.
Yeah.
But like,
the hippo was fucking you.
Big time, dude. The hoppo, sorry.
The hoppos. Yeah, it's like weirdly precise.
It was very, but then I figured it out, and then I used the floating high jump, or like, and the cap, the parachute cap, and I just made my jumps really big, and then just hovered down as far as I could, and that made it really. But again, I solved the problem with badges.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect thing about badges. You can just use it to solve a specific issue if you need to.
Yeah,
which is great.
Before we get into worlds and levels,
okay.
I have one more thing I'd like to say before we head into the back half of the podcast, which I imagine is just going to be centered around favorite worlds, favorite levels, etc. I've got a lot to say about every world.
Yeah.
So like let's wrap up with that in the back half of the podcast. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we do that?
I'm just going through my notes real quick just to see. I think I've gone through most of it. Okay. No, I've got a couple of things.
Yeah.
The biggest gripe I have with this game is easy mode characters.
Yeah, I get that.
I hate it.
Because you wanted to play as Yoshi.
I wanted to play as Yoshi.
I get that, yeah.
Bad. I hated the fact that it was on easy mode.
Yeah.
Because like basically if you're on easy mode, you can't have any power-ups, but you don't take damage.
Yeah.
Which is not a good trade-off at all.
No.
And it's just like, well, if I can't take damage, then this is piss easy.
But there are 5 of them though. There's 4 Yoshi and Nabbit.
I know.
Like
they should have just made Nabbit the easy mode, or even like a couple of the Toads. It's just like a really odd choice to make, especially for Yoshi, which is one of the most popular Mario characters ever. it kind of pissed me off. Like, I used Yoshi for one level. I'm like, this is too fucking easy.
Way too easy.
I'm going back to Luigi.
The only time I used Yoshi in the game was to mine purple coins from this one level.
Is that the one in World 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to do that near the end. I used Nabbit because you get purple coins from getting a power-up.
Oh, true.
Anyway.
You get that with everyone.
Do you?
Even as Mario. You get a power... If you've got a power-up on and a power-up in the tank and you get a purple coin...
Oh, Nabbit would just get it regardless.
True. I always have
you can't get power-ups.
Like,
Another thing, Bowser Jr.
Oh.
I wish he wasn't the main boss of nearly every fucking world.
Dude, Kamek was in this game.
Yeah.
Where was his boss fight?
Well, it's like he summoned the bot, like those pirate boss
the
ships,
fucking
but it's like
ships, dude.
Whatever. It's not even a challenge. And it's just the thing is with Bowser Jr., like I would have been okay with him just being a boss in World 1.
Yeah.
I would have been happy with that. He gets a Wonder Flower, he turns into this badass mofo. I'm like, all right, this is fun. But then he's the boss for basically the rest of the worlds, bar 2
He's the boss for 3 of the worlds because there's only 3 boss fights in this game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't even love that. Like, he has this...
I do, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, like, he affects the environments of some of the worlds real bad, that I wish he, like, got a monster to do that, and you had to fight that monster as the boss.
Yeah,
That would have been so much fun. Like, Kamek, like, making the enemies really big in Yoshi's Island, and you have to fight those as bosses. I think that would have been so much better. It just gets so boring, and it's like, fuck.
I definitely have more to add about the boss fights.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do it. No, I'll do it now. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I had it written down for the worlds.
Yeah.
The first boss fight, it was fine. Cool.
Yeah.
The second boss fight. So you only fight him in World 1, World 4, and World 6.
Yeah.
Yep. And World 2? No.
I thought you fight him... No, you don't do it in the third world because those are the trials.
Yeah. World 1, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
So Pipe Rock Plateau, Sun-Baked Desert, and Deep Magma Bog.
Yeah.
First one was fine when he goes big and then you go big. Great.
Yeah.
It was fine. Deep Magma Bog was my second favorite, where he it's him and then it's the silhouette, and then it's multiple of him, and then it's multiple of him in the silhouette. I like that. I thought that was interesting. And the platforms move. You have to figure out which one's which.
Yeah.
But the one I enjoyed the most was in Sun-Baked Desert, where because the water was the big theme, and the water starts on the bottom and then it goes to the top and then it's bubbles around and I thought the boss fights were clever. I don't think they were difficult.
No.
But they were enjoyable.
There's definitely a good twist on every fight, and there's something different you had to do every time to try and take it down. I just wish it wasn't the same boss every time.
I agree. People were saying for so long to get rid of all of those fucking Koopalings out of the game, though, but then they did, and everyone's like, no, wait, bring them back. And I'm like, what do you want? Like,
what do you want from us?
Where's Lemmy?
I want my Lemmy Cooper. I want Ludwig Van Cooper.
Oh, I love Ludwig, dude.
Dude, Roy?
Roy.
My guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love Roy.
One more thing before we jump into worlds. I kind of want to see what you think. I feel conflicted about the talking flowers.
I love the talking flowers.
Okay.
I wanted them to swear.
Yeah. I love them in the sense for like they added so much to the aesthetic of the world, and like a lot of the stuff like that happens to them, or if you see them in a secret area that you're not really supposed to be at, they're like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
I liked it from that sense, but I was like, by the end of World 6, I'm like, am I annoyed by you guys? I don't know.
You can turn them off.
Oh.
In the menu, you can turn them off.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Because that's what was pissing me off. And it was also weird to kind of hear them speak a lot when no other character really speaks. I don't know.
This leads into what I wanted to talk about as my final point. Well, two of the things I wanted to talk about for my final point.
Yeah. Okay.
First one was still no voice acting. Still no voice acting. We've just had the Mario movie and still no voice acting.
It's a 2D Mario game.
Also, still no story. Like, how many 2D Mario games do they have to make before they're like, you know what, let's write a story for this one?
This one has a slight bit more story.
No, it doesn't. Bowser comes and he takes the things, and Mario has to go and get the things in 6 worlds to go and fight him. Yay!
I know that, but like at least you're in a different kingdom of a whole different species.
Like the different kingdom. I did like the Poplins a lot.
Yeah, and I was like, you go to some worlds and stuff had happened. Like Bowser Jr. had drained the water from the 4th world, so you had to get it back, or you had to go through the trials in the 3rd one to get the Royal Seed.
I'm never buying a 2D Mario game for the story. I'm never complaining about it for the story. But like, also if it had one, I wouldn't be upset, you know?
Wouldn't be mad about it.
That was just a small gripe. But on the voice acting as well, real quick moment to shout out Kevin Afghani, who voices Mario and Luigi in this game.
Oh, yeah, he's so good. Hey?
Yeah, I really liked him. I think I'm saying that right. Kevin Afghani, I think is his name. I know that's his name. I just don't know if I'm saying it right.
Sounds right.
He was excellent as Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
Like, there were moments where I missed Charles Martinet a little bit. But then also, like, this game feels so removed from all of the stuff that Martinet has done that it makes sense to have someone new doing the voice.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. And I know people have been criticizing him a lot online, but I had a lovely time listening to him, and I think he was great.
I had a great time, and more often than not, I didn't really notice much of a difference between him and Charles Martinet. I was like, no, that's Mario going wahoo, and Luigi going, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was like the slightest bit different. I think when I first played, I was like, oh, this is weird. But I got used to it. I'm like, well, it just sounds like Mario and Luigi. Yeah, like he got their personification of the character just so good.
And especially in this game as well.
Yeah.
Like I think Kevin did a great job. Yeah. And I just wanted to shout that out as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know, like I think it's a very big set of shoes to fill to follow
massive.
Charles Martinet.
Almost too big.
I think he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So
he did
just wanted to pop that in there too.
Just those two characters?
Yep, he just did those two.
Yeah.
There was a new voice actor for Daisy as well.
Oh, really?
Who I don't... Oh, damn, that's for the next podcast.
Son of a gun.
I didn't write down their name, but there was a new voice actor for Daisy, but as far as I know, it was just Kevin and then this other voice actor for Daisy, who I can't remember the name of. I think they were the only two new ones.
Did you just play as Mario?
Just Mario the whole game.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think is why I didn't write down Daisy's voice actor, because I was like, it would feel disingenuous to... Not to shout them out, obviously, but like, I didn't play as Daisy, so I didn't...
You don't want to comment on it.
Notice.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know. Like, either way.
World time?
Yeah, world time. So I've actually written mine down from least to best.
Okay.
Worst to best. And I say worst to best, there are no bad worlds.
No, they're all fantastic.
It's just my personal least favorite to my personal favorite. And my personal least favorite in this game is still better than most every other world in most every other 2D Mario game.
I'd agree.
So
100%.
Certainly not like a, man, World 2 fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But sixth on the list for me is Fluff Puff Peaks, which is the second world of the game.
Yeah, okay.
That's my bottom spot.
Any particular reason?
Nope. No, yeah. I like it a lot. The levels felt a bit samey for me. I know that every world has a theme, obviously, but for me, like, the theme of Deep Magma Bog, they all felt different.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Fluff Puff Peaks, that's gonna suck to say over and over again.
Fluff Puff Peaks.
Fluff Puff Peaks. It just felt really samey for me. Some really fun designs and level ideas, especially Jump, which is the jumping to the beat. That was challenging. I liked that a lot.
That was a hard level.
Countdown to Drop Down was another favorite from that world, which is when you land on the platforms and they have numbers, and as you land on them, it changes for how many things can land. Things can land on it, not just you, but things.
Yeah.
And then also I really liked Cruising with Linking Lifts, where you collect more platforms for the lift as the level continues, as they disappear.
That was a really cool idea. Somewhat challenging, to be honest.
Honestly, there were some challenging moments in that level.
Yeah.
But those three levels for me were standouts. I've written 3 levels for every world.
Oh, okay. I didn't do that.
Well, I'm just better than you.
Yeah.
I wrote this while I had the game open in front of me, though. So like I was halfway through like World 4 when I started writing these notes, and then I went like, oh, what are some good levels?
Yeah.
I had it open on the TV.
I think I went through most of it before we decided to do a podcast on it. So I was like, oops.
I reckon. I really liked those levels. Fluff Puff Peaks was still great, but to me it was the weakest world.
I think it's because like the first half of the world, it's like mainly ice levels that all kind of feel the same. The second half of the world's a bit more interesting because that's when it gets all puffy and fluffy.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would agree. That was, I don't know if it was my least favorite. I think my least favorite is still Pipe Rock Plateau, just because it's kind of the same grass first world that we always do. Fluff Puff Peaks just had more of an intrigue to me just based on its design alone.
Well, I put Pipe Rock Plateau second last.
Yeah.
Rather, so fifth, purely because like, to me, it kind of lacked cohesion. So the levels were samey, but it lacked cohesion. But it did have Sproings in the Twilight Forest, which is the silhouette level.
Yeah.
Cosmic Hoppos, where you become like the
Yeah.
balloon. I fucking loved
That
that.
was so good, yeah.
And Piranha Plants on Parade.
Is that the world with the cows, the moo cows? You
The
know
moo
you know,
cows?
you stand on them, you ride on them.
Oh, the bulls.
The
yeah,
bulls,
I'm
yeah,
fairly
sorry.
sure they were in
That's in
Pipe
the
Rock
first
Plateau
world.
as well.
Yeah, those were solid.
I think those levels for me, like World 1 and 2 feel the same to me in terms
Yeah.
of like where I'd put them, but those specific levels for me, especially Piranha Plants on Parade, bump up
Yeah.
Pipe Rock just above Fluff Puff for me.
Yeah.
So far it's 2 then 1 for me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's number 3?
Number 5.
Yeah.
So Fungi Mines. Is this your number 1?
Wait until I make my ranking on the spot.
Okay, sure. All right. Yeah, so World 5 is my 3rd spot. And I even wrote, we're at the point now where it's just down to personal preference as these
Yeah.
final 4 worlds are nearly perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Some absolute banger levels in World 5,
Yeah.
including Beware the Rifts, where the screen is like tearing into like space
Yeah.
behind you. Loved that.
It's very like Mario Galaxy-esque.
I fucking loved
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it reminded me of Mario Galaxy
Yeah.
a lot. An Uncharted area, Wubba Ruins,
Mm-hmm.
where you get to swim through slime.
Oh, yeah.
And the flowers are like, what the fuck's that?
You can still do damage to like the
yeah.
enemies in the
I
slime.
really liked
Yeah.
that. And then the first Boo level, first and
Yeah.
only Boo level, Light Switch Mansion, which has the A Night at Boo's Opera.
Yeah. That's my favorite level.
Dude, Night at Boo's Opera, that section of the level with the Wonderflower was fucking
insane.
unreal. I think it was my favorite Wonderflower of the entire
Yeah.
game.
It's the most memorable. I knew as soon as I saw it, like, that's my favorite. It's King Boo just singing
Yeah.
opera.
Dude,
it was
loved
the
it
best.
so much.
was
It was
so
still a challenging Wonderflower too. Like
Yeah.
the platforming and the scrolling. Like I mean, it wasn't challenging, but I liked it a lot.
There was still something to it rather than the spectacle of Boo singing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was just top tier.
It was tight.
Yeah, so the levels in that world were solid. Like again, like these final 4 worlds are just like solid.
I wish I had a boss at the end of the world, but
Yeah, it was a bit weird that like you do the final level and then you go through a level where you do a Wonderflower for like 10 seconds and then it's like, you're done.
you're done.
And then you have to go back into that level to then
do
do
the
it
secret,
again
yeah.
to get the secret. That was weird.
I didn't love that. There's no indication of like going back to that would be a secret.
Well, I mean, there was for me in terms of I opened the menu and why don't I have a green tick up the
Yeah.
top? And I went back through and went,
You guys
why
said
is
that
there no
level
green
was
tick
no-
in that level? Yeah.
yeah.
It was weird.
Our green tick saved me.
That green tick. Because after I did Piranha Pants on Parade, and I was like, where's the green tick?
Yeah.
And then I went back through, and then I found a secret exit, and I
That
was
was the one secret. That was the one secret I had to look up
same.
because I didn't know where it was. It's on top of the fucking pipe. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that was cool. Though. I didn't look up where it was, but I
Yeah.
looked up that there was a secret.
there was one in that level.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because I was like, why no green tick? And they were like, there's a secret. I'm like, oh. And then I
get
just left it there, and then I found it. It took me ages.
Yeah.
Which is fine because there's no timer on these levels. But anyway,
I'm so glad they removed the timer.
I'm 50-50 on it. I'm
Really?
50-50. I liked the challenge of the timer, but also
I like it too, but if
I don't mind
it's
it.
a game like kind of based on trying to find collectibles and secrets in the level.
and
You don't wanna
especially
be
in
timed
this
on it.
one as well.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
My
top 3, baby.
top 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Deep Magma Bog, World 6.
Yeah.
Final world of the game was excellent fun and a nice challenge to finish things off.
Yeah.
I loved the final run of expert badge challenges. I thought that was
yeah, that-
very cool.
Yeah. I like that.
Though the second invisibility one took me fucking ages.
That's probably the worst badge.
Big time.
I hate it.
Imagine doing a playthrough of the entire game with the invisibility badge on.
Next Let's Play?
Next Let's Play. Dude, that would be and drunk too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dude,
okay.
I think even the first 2 levels would be impossible.
Yeah.
We should try that.
I don't even know if you can get that power up. Oh, I guess you can just go back. into it.
Yeah.
All right.
I loved where the Rumbas rule. The Wonderflower is when you play as the Spike Ball.
Oh, yeah.
And the innovation behind Rags in the Ruins, which is where some blocks only appear when you're looking at them.
Yeah.
I really like that, and especially the Wonderflower there when you're doing a top-down Pac-Man style Wonderflower.
Yeah.
Where there's like the shit charging at you, but if
Yeah.
you spin around and look, the blocks appear and stop them.
Yeah.
I really liked the blocks a lot in that level.
The top-down, like, Wonderflower segments were probably some of the hardest in the game.
The one in the special world where it's the 3 spike ball throwing people, and it's the sort of like top down side one.
Yeah,
that was difficult.
That took me a couple of goes.
I loved it though. I loved it so much.
Yeah. And there's like one, I think it's in the second world, where you have like all those birds like trying to swoop down at you. Yeah. So good.
The Bowser Jr. fight in World 6 was fun.
Yeah.
And it was there.
Yeah.
And I did
it existed.
My second place is Shining Falls, the third world.
So your first is Sun-Baked Desert.
It is, which is a shocking revelation to me.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. I loved the theme of Shining Falls so much. The idea that you're completing the trials to help the Poplins and to get stronger. And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no Bowser Jr., there's nothing
no
else
boss
at
fight.
stake. You're just going through to get stronger and better, and you're helping the Poplins. I know a lot of people didn't like that. I fucking loved it.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was a brilliant change of pace.
Yeah.
You go through the first world where you fight Bowser Jr., second world, you're like, okay, this is something a bit different. Third world, like no Bowser Jr. fight. And you're like, whoa, okay.
Like, awesome. You just have to do harder levels that you haven't, like, were harder than anything you've done before. Yeah.
Highlights from those levels are the Sugar Star trial across the night sky.
Yeah.
Which is the one that I've played more than any others because I was
farming for those
mining it
coins.
for the coins.
Yeah.
And the final trial, Zip Track Dash.
Yeah.
Both very simple, not very hard, but so enjoyable.
Yeah.
I also really liked the Sharp trial, Launch to Victory, because every time you jump, the little hoppy cat shoots out of the front of your little platform that you're on.
That was like kind of like a timed kind of level, hey?
Yes, yeah. I really liked that though when you jump. I don't know, I think it's the easiest world in the game. I think even easier than World 1 to me.
You reckon?
I found it real easy.
Yeah.
But I really loved the change in formula.
Yeah.
And I really loved the design ideas behind the levels in that world.
Yeah.
I think they were solid as fuck.
Yeah. They were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the aesthetic design of all of the worlds. They're just so different.
Oh, they're perfect.
So different from basically any other Mario game, maybe even except the first
Except
world.
for Pipe Rock Plateau.
But like,
yeah.
they just look so good, man. And Shining Falls is probably one of the best looking worlds in the
it's
entire
so
game.
satisfying and aesthetic and lovely to look at. Like, I really like it.
One thing I want to say, just before we get to your favorite, I love the fact that you can do stuff in the foreground and the background of every level.
God, yes.
And that's something I don't think has ever happened in a Mario game
so
before.
many levels where you go down a pipe and you're suddenly way off in the distance doing something far away.
Or you're like really close up to the camera and like, I can see your crotch, Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just love that so much. It just adds so much more dimension to the levels, and just like, especially when you find secrets in these areas, I'm like, oh, it was so good. Anyway, Sun-Baked Desert, number one world.
I never thought a desert world would take number one spot for me. Normally they are my most dreaded. Normally it's World 2 because the desert world's always World 2.
Yeah.
Normally I'm like, fuck my life. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
Sun-Baked Desert slaps so hard.
Yeah.
And I think it sort of comes back to something you said earlier where like you walk in and it's like, here's 8 levels that you can do in any order, anywhere you like, some little break time areas, hidden areas, a Captain Toad pipe just over there. Just go and do the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing.
It's just like a strong lack of linearity.
Yeah, and I didn't know I needed that in a 2D Mario game.
I think I did.
But it's what made it for me.
Yeah.
So it turns out I did need it. But like it's one of the things alongside like Shiho Fuji's music that made this game for me. Yeah. To be honest.
Just like the freedom to be able to do whatever you wanted and explore this hub world.
And to be like, that's a 4-star level.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do those 2-star levels real quick and then come back to this one.
Or like, I'm going to do the break time before the 4-star level.
Exactly. It's so much fun. Some levels from that world that I absolutely loved. We already mentioned a Ninja Jump Party, which is, jumping on the beat.
Yeah.
Fucking
so
outstanding.
Much fun. It's such a fun level.
I loved Color Switch Dungeon a lot and the Secrets of Shover Mansion.
That one's so good.
I really loved that with the real theme around pushing the blocks.
Yeah,
I
and
loved that.
That's the world that has the secret to the secret level. I can't remember what it was, but like I figured it out on my own, and I was happy about it.
And then I also loved Flight of the Bloomps, which was a nice, challenging way to wrap things up, other than with the palace.
Which ones are those guys?
It's they're the ones that like fly the balloons, and when you jump on them, they get smaller and smaller.
Oh god.
I loved those
I have
levels.
trauma from those guys, and I'm not going to tell you why.
Oh, because they're gassy like you. I'm sorry, dude.
That's just, come on, man.
But yeah, I don't know. Home to my favorite boss battle of the game, which is a low bar.
Yeah,
this was my favorite Bowser Jr. fight with the water. It was the one I found the most interesting and engaging.
Yeah.
And yeah, to be honest, that's my favorite world. So
Yeah.
just, again, recapping real quick, in order from worst, quote unquote, to best, World 2, World 1, World 5, World 6, World 3, World 4.
Okay.
That's my
I know
ranking.
this isn't a world, but how does Petal Isles fit into all of those?
Pedal Isles I didn't even remotely consider to put on this list.
Yeah, fair.
Or the special world for that matter.
Yeah.
To me, I see those as extensions of the other worlds. Because, like, the levels directly outside each of the worlds feel like a part of that world,
Yeah.
too. There were some excellent levels in there, don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting Pedal Isles at all.
Yeah.
But, like, I never considered it as its own world, even though it is.
Yeah.
And the special world, obviously, as well. I didn't want to comment on that, though, because I haven't finished it.
Yeah, fair
But I
enough.
have played all but one of the levels in it.
Yeah.
And they're outstanding.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think, because I beat this game about 15 to 20 hours, do you think this game could have been a bit
Yep.
longer?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Because I feel the same way. Like, I've only been playing for 20 hours, I think. And I think most of that time was just it being left idle on the TV.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I don't know. It's a very short game.
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to.
No, it's not like we paid a lot more money for it than a
And,
usual
like,
Switch game.
to be honest, I'd prefer a more focused Mario game rather than, like, fucking U Deluxe with 8 worlds and, like, just the same shit over and over. Like, I'd prefer, like, these 6 worlds plus Pedal Isles and the special world. So I guess 8 worlds.
Yeah.
Plus all of these extra challenges and breaks and badges. Like, it feels like there's a lot more content, even though it's a much shorter game.
Yeah.
And I think the levels are a hell of a lot shorter than in Wii Deluxe.
Well, there's no real bad levels. They're all just really consistently good.
Big time.
And I think I would rather that than a big game with lots of content, but you have, lower lows, basically.
Yeah, I was watching a video where someone was talking about the challenge mode, like stuff from from U Deluxe, where you go and do like little challenges. And to me, that's kind of like, he was like, why wasn't it in this game? And I'm like, well, that's kind of like what the badge challenges and the break times and the KO arenas, that's kind of what that was.
It was, yeah.
And I like how it was integrated into the game rather than just being like another menu that you have to navigate to before you start.
Yeah, exactly.
I really liked the way that they worked it in.
Yeah, and especially with like the badge challenges, like you would have one badge, but then there was like a harder version of that badge.
Yes.
There was like a challenge to do that, so you could like get your skills better with those badges.
One that I didn't mention but really want to quickly was the piranha plant vine that you shoot out like Spider-Man. That was fucking rad, dude.
The crossover we needed.
Yeah, Mario is Spider-Man.
Mario Dude.
Luigi, get me pictures of Mario.
See you later, Goomba.
Want forgiveness? Get really. I just said a quote from Spider-Man 3. Want forgiveness? Get Koopa.
Oh god, I'm so
Get Kamek.
Okay, Kamek. That was good, dude.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
We need to wrap this up.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
The Spider-Man 3 quotes are coming out.
Yeah, dude, I gotta stop you before you're unstoppable. Yeah, I just want to quickly
cry.
stop. My favorite world was definitely World 5, obviously.
Fun game, yeah.
Fun Game Mines. It was spooky as
Fun
hell.
gay minds.
You can't
I
stop.
thought that was what you said.
No, that would have been funny. I said
Fun gay.
How about
anyway.
Fun Gay Minds? Put that over what I said earlier.
James is Fun Gay Minds
Coming out as Fun Gay.
as opposed to Sad Gay.
God.
We'll play in the Ag Bay.
Fuck you, I knew you were going to say that. Wild 5's my favorite.
Okay.
Because it's spooky. The first level has all the pumpkins and stuff. When we get the Wonder Flower, it's all spooky.
And you get the singular boo level in the entire game.
Yeah. I wish there were more boo levels.
I wish there was like one more.
Just
I didn't
one
mind that
more.
there was only one, but I wish there was like 2.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get you.
And that's my hot take of the day.
Dude, that's such a hot take.
Thanks, man.
But no, I just like the aesthetic. Like, if it's spoopy, it's probably gonna be my favorite. Not much will
time.
beat it. But I did really enjoy Shining Falls and Sunbaked island was just
Sunbaked Desert.
was just top tier.
Yeah.
And like all the secrets you can find in the hub world. That's what I loved about the hub worlds in this game. They have so many secrets.
All the
They're so
Captain
good.
Toads.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
They're just one of them. Like when I found the first one, he's just hanging out in this area in the sixth world.
Volcano,
Like,
yeah.
dude,
and I'm like, what
bro.
the fuck, dude?
I'm like, get the fuck out of there,
Captain
dude.
Toad, get out of here.
Gonna turn into cooked mushroom, bro. Gonna be in my soup. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Obviously, I feel like we can both safely recommend this game to people.
Oh, absolutely.
If you've ever played a Mario game and thought, "Gee, this is pretty good," you should play this one because it is just outstanding.
It's so good
in every single way.
The aesthetics are amazing. The music is amazing. It's just so fun to play, and the Wonder Flowers just make every level just feel special.
The Wonder
in some sort of
Flowers
way.
just
It makes the game for me. And if you want to see Piranha Plants and Booze sing, which is something I didn't know I needed, but hey, we got it. Then play this game, dude.
It's can't recommend it enough.
I rate it 5 out of 5 mushrooms.
Okay.
What would you rate it?
10 out of 10 poplins.
Yeah, nice, dude. That was really good.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. Follow us all on our socials. That is Instagram. We have Twitter. We have TikTok as well. Follow us on all the things we're posting pretty damn often these days.
Yeah, we are trying our best to keep up with the socials.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow us. Make sure you subscribe so that you can see our next podcasts and Let's Plays and things when they come out. And yeah, thanks, basically.
Thanks. See you later, guys. Have a good day or evening or night.
Or afternoon.
Or morning.
Or morning. There
Or
we go.
twilight.
Or new moon.
Ooh, dude.
Or eclipse. Or breaking dawn.
Bye.
Bye.